We're going to work on this worksheet right now, creating and shading with texture. We're going to create texture through these different techniques, and it'll help us shade in our drawing and just show the texture of the different parts of our drawing. And you guys are doing your shoe drawing right now. Your shoes have different textures to them, like different stitches, different kinds of plastic. Maybe the side of your shoe is really dirty. You can kind of show the texture of that. There's textures on your the fabric and even on the shoelaces. So this should really help you. We will use this worksheet, of course, a pencil, and the ballpoint pen that comes in your supply kit. Okay. So hatching is really easy to do because it's just flat lines. And the thing with hatching is that the closer you put the lines together, then the darker it appears. And then if you start to draw the lines a little further away from each other, then the lighter it will appear. Okay, so go ahead and try that out. And I'm going to continue mine. Here's mine. And, you could always look at the example they give you to kind of try and copy what you see there, or emulate what you see there. Now what I'm going to do is going to try this out with my ballpoint pen because it's a different, it's got a different feel to it. Now I'm drawing on a little bit of a hard surface, and something that I do like to do if I'm using a ballpoint pen is I'll put a different surface down, like something to draw on, like a pad of paper or something, and it helps the pen feel a little bit more smooth in my hand. You can see the pen is a much different feel than the pencil. And the thing about pen is that it's permanent. So once that little line is down, we can't go back and erase it. So go ahead and try it out with the pen. We're going to do cross hatching, and I will say in the artist world, artists love cross hatching. It's a great technique. It really shows fabrics very well, because fabrics are basically made of strings that are just kind of cross-hatched together, or like woven together. That's all fabric is. It's woven string, basically. So it's a great one to use if you want to show the texture of a fabric. And what we do is it's very similar to cross-hatching. I mean, it's very similar to hatching because it's made up of lines, straight lines, okay? And then we just go in different directions. We go up and down, and then we go flat across. And again, like the further the lines are away from each other, then the lighter it appears. The more that we put lines and the closer they are together, then the darker it will appear. And I can even go diagonal. Okay, so that is cross hatching. It's really fun. And what I'll do right now is I will try it out with my pen too, and I'm just going to start and try that on my own, and I invite you to do the same. We'll move on to the pointillism or stippling. This one can be kind of good to show if something's a little dirty, or for other, depending on the look of the shoe and the texture you see. Pointillism or stippling might be good. And this one is just about dots. Okay, now if you do this on a hard surface, you're going to sound like you have a woodpecker pecking at your house. But I did mine on a pad of paper, so you don't have to hear the sound. And it's the same thing with pointillism, that the closer the dots are together, then the darker it'll appear. And the further you put those dots away from each other, then the lighter it appears. I'm going to continue doing this on my own, and I invite you to do the same, and then I'll go over and try it out with my pen. So far I've done the hatching, the cross hatching, and the stippling, and I've started all of them with pencil and then went over with pen just to see the different feel. I'm going to skip the wood grain because I don't think we really need it for this project, so I'll show you wood grain another time. But for now we'll get into the scribbles, the curly scribbles, so this should be easy for you. This is just about scribbling, kind of like what we do when we're really mad. to kind of like work our pencil in circles. And this is the same as anything else. The tighter that our little circles are, these little curls, then the darker it will appear. And then like the looser that we put these scribbly curls, okay, then the lighter it'll appear. Okay, so again, tighter and smaller is darker, and then bigger and looser is lighter. Okay, so I'm doing mine, and I'll try mine now with the pen. Okay, and I work it in like both directions. So I go around like one way and then around the other, like this. Kind of like C's, and then like the opposite of a C. Okay, and I'll let you try this out. Okay, and I'm all done with mine now, and the last thing we will do is the Scrumbling, which looks very similar to the Scribbles, but I'll show you the difference. So with Scrumbling, I like to create kind of my nervous hand. So when I'm angry, I do Scribbles because I'm kind of like, you know, I go kind of like that, okay? With Scrumbling, I'm trying to think of like being more nervous where I can't control my hand as well, and so it creates more random looking scribbles, and then not so much like a circular kind of scribble. So hopefully you can start to see the difference, how this one is more circular and then this one is really, really random. So I'm going to do that now. Pretend like I'm really nervous, like I'm about to go on a date with my favorite celebrity. I'm not even sure who that is nowadays, but that's okay. And this is the same with all the other textures. The tighter you keep the lines, then the darker it'll appear, and then the looser that you draw the lines, then the lighter it'll appear. Okay, and I really, really love to scumble with my ballpoint pen. Okay. And what's cool about the ballpoint pen is I can also push a little harder on it to show more darkness, and then I can lighten up on it to show like more like gray. Just about to finish up. Okay, so that's about it. Now, when we do get to our shoes and deciding which textures to use, it's going to depend on the part. So right here, I've got all these like little dots. I could probably use stippling for the texture around that part of my shoe. For maybe like the dirty areas of my shoe, maybe the scribbles or the scumbling would look good. For this random, if you see any of this random kind of wrinkly fabric inside my shoe, if that shows up in my drawing, maybe I can use also the scumbling or the scribbles to show that. I think particularly on the shoelaces, the cross hatching would be really good. The cross hatching is right there. Okay, so these are all things for us to think about, and we taking a picture of this and uploading it for our assignment, and I hope you had fun.